This is the next video that I'm posting on my YouTube channel, and it will be about ocalrocks.com, a lot of the shows that they did back in the day, and shows that I've played with bands I've been in, and also I'm going to go over the Shinedown CD, Amaryllis, and Stained, their self-titled album that came out last year. I just bought them recently, in the past few weeks, and the Shinedown CD is really great. Um, I know a lot of the older Shinedown stuff is clean, but he actually utilizes some curse words in the songs, which is really neat. It's different. It's a new feel for Shinedown. And also, there's several tracks on the new CD, Amaryllis, that he writes from a different perspective, like somebody else's shoes, which is really cool because not many people can do that very well. Although a lot of songs you can still tell are from his perspective, which is also great. I'm always a fan of those songs, those lyrics, learning a lesson and getting through stuff, so you put it down in a song. Also, some of the songs are heavier than I've ever heard from Shinedown, and obviously the recording quality is better with technology improving. All these bands have to really scrutinize everything they put down because of how good the sound quality is getting. So they pick up on everything. You can hear it through the radio even, not to mention on a CD. And then some of the songs are even lighter than I've heard from Shinedown. So in that respect, the new CD is a definite 5 stars. I would buy it. That's why I bought it. And the Stained CD I just purchased this week from Best Buy. I've been thinking about buying it, but then I heard the song Eyes Wide Open on the radio last week, and I was like, I gotta get this CD, because that song really hit me hard. The lyrics are good, it's really heavy, and that's the thing about the new Stain CD. Well, it came out last year, but it's the thing about the Stain CD is that it's a lot heavier than the recent Stain stuff. It goes back to the Dysfunctional days, that kind of sound. They're bringing that back. And also, there are a few of their lighter tracks in there, which gives the CD a good balance. So it's a good listen. But there are definitely some heavier songs on there. And the lyric content is excellent. That CD, as well as the Shinedown CD, has really been opening my eyes lately. So definitely check those out. Now, as for the shows that I've played, I wanted to mention ocalrocks.com, and I wanted to give my friend Ben Steltenkamp a shout out, some recognition, because the music scene around Ocala has really lost a lot since Ocala Rocks ended, but he's trying to start that back up with help from a few people. So if you're interested, hit him up on Facebook. And he's only asking for 10 hours a month to help promote and set things up. It's not too much. Um, so, anyways, yeah, the first show I ever played with Undone Perfection, which was my first major touring band, was actually a open jam night at Spudsy's, and Ben was there, and he's the one that told us about it. So we checked that out, and then I'm pretty sure Ocala Rocks had some shows there. Snowbirds in Ocala, and then Bank Shots. I remember that place. That was a really fun place. Nice, a lot of room for a lot of people, but as with any of these venues, the owners started stiffing out on the money, and Ben wasn't able to break even, and that's not really fair when you're putting on a show um, to help get people in the bar to buy the drinks for the venue. Yeah, it's not fun. But anyways, there was, after Bank Shots, I remember Kingsland Lounge, 301 South. Went to a lot of these venues. Um, and then it came back to Cheers. I played over there with a band, Slow Motion Killers, I was in. But I remember playing at Club Fusion with Undone Perfection and Getting Deep. We played a lot of shows with Getting Deep. when they were big, so that was fun. A lot of shows, the lesson I've learned is definitely watch out with the stairs, bringing my drums up the stairs and all my equipment up on the stage. That's some risky business, especially with my vision problem and not even being able to see the floor with me holding my bass drum and looking down, all I see is my bass drum. So definitely gotta learn to feel around with your feet before you step up. And I learned that in high school with some vision instructors that I had. So that was definitely a good lesson being on the road with the band. I remember playing a lot of shows also at the Backstage Lounge. The most tricky stairs that I ever had to climb up would be in Longwood, which is near Orlando in Florida. Liquid Script. The stairs weren't evenly spaced. There were some steps that were twice the height of some of the other steps, and then there were other ones that were like half of the height of a normal step. So, and they were all interspersed. There was no order. It was very confusing. I almost broke a bone at that place, at the least. Broke some, almost broke some equipment. I think I dropped my drums at one point, but I caught them before they tumbled. But that place, be careful. I mean, it was fun playing there. There was a lot of people there for how big the place is. It's not very big, but I remember playing a show in Jacksonville at uh, the Pit. That was fun. That was a really neat place because there was like a cage around the stage. I think they don't do shows there anymore. It's changed into another place, but that was really fun. We played there with Getting Deep and Force of Will. That was really cool. And I miss those days, definitely. And as mentioned by Ben, he went to a lot of these shows, even out of town, but he set the shows up in Ocala. But he always supported the bands that were out, which is really cool. And had a lot of fun playing those shows. He mentioned a show we played at Club Fusion in St. Augustine. I remember that show. That was really fun. Also with Getting Deep. It's a lot of shows. I remember that was our last show with Ryan. He left after that show to join Getting Deep, actually. He was helping them with equipment that show. So I tend to remember the minor details about these things because it all depends on your connection with everything. Um, and then, we switched around members in Undone Perfection quite a bit. Not so much. I mean, I was there for most of the time until some drama went on at my old apartment, and I left the band, so they got another drummer for a little bit, but then the other drummer left, and then, yeah, they didn't, that was only a couple months, them being together after I left anyways. That's usually how it goes when a drummer leaves a band. Uh, but I definitely miss playing shows for that many people. And I remember playing a lot of shows with Slow Motion Killers around Ocala and also out of town. It was pretty interesting, a lot of those shows. A lot of people showed up, a lot of regulars. So, had fun. But, anyways, and I also wanted to mention that I'm going to be putting one of my favorite lyrics up because I read it recently, and I also will put up in the description the comment I left on my author page, which you should check out my book from 15 through 23. And I have a Facebook author page that I comment on the lyrics that I've written. I just randomly pick one in my book, I read it, and I remember why I wrote it, and then I write down my reasoning. So I'm going to post that lyric in the description for this video and my reason for writing it. And if I could get some comments on that, that'd be excellent. Also, I wanted to mention I usually drink water out of this cup, my Dunkin' Donuts cup, every video that I have, and I wanted to see if I could get some comments about who likes Starbucks better and who likes Dunkin' Donuts better, because I'm a fan of no flavor in any coffee, and I don't like sweetener in my hot coffee. I only like creamer. So I like the taste of the actual coffee. And I'm kind of the same way when it comes to stuff like pizza, too. At first, when I'm trying a new pizza restaurant, I like to try just the cheese pizza. And then if I know I like it, I'll add other things to it. It's like you don't have to cover up the flavor of the pizza with toppings. You should like the pizza for what it is. And then you can add toppings. So, there's can go into a whole in-depth psychology explanation for all that, but that's how I am with coffee too. And I really don't like the Starbucks hot coffee, and I don't like Starbucks iced coffee. I've tried some of their flavored coffees because my ex-girlfriend liked those. They taste good. I would not consider it coffee though. So if I could get some comments on that, that would be great. Thanks, and until next time, I'm Brandon Palermo.